In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Valentine's Day on a lovely Monday morning. Welcome to the show. Won't you come with me as we go off the deep end together and learn something about the Bible? I'm your host, Jake Johnson. I'll be with you for the hour, hoping that all things come from heaven to the brain, which is where it belongs. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Diego. Nope, nobody sent me flowers today. Sorry about that. But I didn't send anybody else any flowers either, so tit for tat. Tit-tat-a-tat. How are you, though? How was your Valentine's Day? You have a Valentine, so assuming you're getting a nookie, going out to dinner. Diego, how are you, sir? Do you have a sweetheart this afternoon? Are you having fun? Are you doing what God intended men to do, and that's love, love, love on a Monday? I hope so. Awful shame if you're not. Either way, tonight we're going to be talking about some Proverbs, some old ancient wisdom from way back. 1519, I believe that's where we are. Let me just double check that. Yeah, chapter 15, verse 19 of that awesome book of Proverbs. We had a pretty good read last night. Pretty intense, pretty deep, pretty mind-blowing. Make you feel like you don't know anything when you start pondering all those complicated concepts, I guess, for lack of a better word. I don't know what to call it. All I know is that they're there and they've been there a long time and they make a lot of sense. And it's good to know that stuff. Happy Valentine's Day to you too, Diego. Let's see. I had a busy weekend. I had band practice. I had a show. I had 2 podcasts and some work and a little bit of sleep. There's a lot to do in one weekend. And I'm sure I'm forgetting something. I think I did something else. I just can't remember what it was. Oh, I went and took some cigarettes to my buddy in the nursing home. Got to take care of that man. He takes care of me. I got to take care of him back. It's a nice gesture. It don't cost much. Easy to do. It's a love offering, you know. People take care of me. I take care of other people. That's kind of how it works. And he's about, from what I understand, and it could be wrong, but he's about 2 weeks away from getting out of that place. And I'm counting the days because I can't wait to get my buddy out of there. You have no sound. Your phone has refused to be heard. Well, that's not good. You could watch on the computer. Does that help? I don't have subtitles. Yay, I have sound now. See, that magic spell worked. How are you? Happy Valentine's Day, Mr. Sasquatch. Good to see you. Glad you could drop by. You missed a pretty good show last night. Pretty decent. Pretty in-depth. We got way down in the weeds, down a rabbit hole or two. I was accused of child molestation. It's always a good show when you come away with scars. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad that you guys do that still. Diego says, I used to be in love. Seems I remember that ass much. You talking about the accuser? Yeah. Back in my high school days, way back then when I was in high school, which was like a year and a half ago. Back in my high school days. Boy, you got plenty of time for love. Don't you worry about that at all. If you ain't got it now, just hold your horses. Worry about setting you up. Get a job, get some money coming in, get your little nest egg built up, rent you an apartment or whatever it is kids your age do these days, and it'll come. The right woman will see your shiny cowboy boots and be all in love with you. Next thing you know, you'll have 2 or 3 little Diegos running around and wondering how you got in this mess. Don't you worry about it. You are quite young. What you don't want to be is pushing 50 and be alone, because you know the dating pool is empty. Yeah, that's who we were just talking about, Diego. That just some troll. That don't mean nothing. Anybody knows me knows that ain't true. I'm not the slightest bit worried about that, but I kind of don't like the idea that there's somebody out there doing that kind of thing, because it might come up on somebody that somebody don't know, and it might actually end up hurting somebody. You don't want to accuse people of things like that. That's the kind of thing get you killed. So he needs to be reported or something. If he comes back, I'll report him. But I think I told him off good enough last night. Maybe he won't be back. Anyway, like I said last night, when you're over the target, that's when you get the most flack. If you're doing right by God, that's when the devil wants you. So be prepared for things like that to pop up occasionally. I'm not too concerned about it because I have the full armor of God. And I'm an asshole, so, you know. I am having dinner with the babe April, CJ the man, Devin, his girlfriend, and her 4-year-old daughter. Well, that sounds like you're going to pay a nice bill. I blocked him. Good man. Well, I hope you guys have a great dinner, and I hope you enjoy Valentine's Day, and more especially, just being with each other. It's lovely to be with people on a nice day like today. Hey, brother, I'm 59. September, I turned 60. Life is good. Yeah, you're dating April. I mean, you hit the jackpot there, buddy. You need to go ahead and make an honest woman out of her. I'll come on down there and tie the knot, or I'll do it over the internet. I don't care. Send me the paperwork. I'll sign it. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. January, February, March, April, May, June. I'm 22. Oh, to be 22 again. I would love it. But I'd only want to be 22 again if I could bring my current knowledge with me. Because when I was 22, I was an idiot. I didn't know a thing. Moron, complete and total. Uh-oh. We got ourselves a sports update with Kevin Cox. It's a crazy curling this week. The U.S. U.S. men's team takes on some foreign country tonight. Some foreign country. Go USA. We don't care who it is. We're going to curl them up and sweep all the dust out from in front of them. What a ridiculous sport. So what y'all think about the Super Bowl yesterday? I haven't the foggiest. I didn't watch any of it. Well, did you see it? If you saw it, then you know whether it was exciting or not. I didn't see it, so I don't know. I know there was a bunch of musical acts that I don't particularly care for in the halftime, so I didn't watch that either. April only loves you for your stellar body. Stellar as in big as the universe. Baby, when I gaze into your eyes, time stands still. Well, that sounds romantic, but what you're telling me is I got a face that could stop a clock. Well, it's all in how you look at it, I guess. Thank you for calling it soccer and not football. Because that's ridiculous. Football is shaped like a sweet potato. Yep, I understand soccer is quite the game. I've never got into any sport, so I don't know a whole lot about any of it, but I admire people that know about it. They seem to be into something I don't understand. I'm the guy that be sitting there at the table at the bar wondering why everybody sporadically yells out loud at the top of their lungs for no apparent reason, looking at a TV that has the sound turned all the way down. I have no idea what's going on. Hey, April. Happy Valentine's Day, sweetheart. I hope you got a pink heart and a bunch of kisses. My dad won the bet against me for the first time in over 10 years. Go, Dad. Dads are awesome. April says, Happy Valentine's Day to all. I love you, Jake. Sorry I'm late. That seems like there's a pattern here. I love you, everyone. Tomorrow, the UEFA Championship League. Greatest soccer club. Or greatest club soccer. Is that where you hit the soccer ball with a club? Cross between golf and football? Greatest club soccer tournament continues with a knockout stage tomorrow, Tuesday, February the 15th. That would be tomorrow. You don't get the stinger. That's a Kevin thing. But I'll read it. Sasquatch in the house. Whoop, whoop. Happy Valentine's Day. Much love to all. With lots of pink emojis. Hey, babe. I am on the deck. Hey, that'd be enough of that language. Oh, you said deck. Okay, sorry. My bad. Yes, I'm the very best at it, LOL. At what? With the two hands? Are you a two-hander? I just got tired up. Well. Hey, April, much love, says Caucasian. You guys are awesome. I can feel the love dripping off my screen. It's awesome. I didn't have a Valentine's today. I stayed home all day. Slept in. I needed the rest, though. I had a busy weekend. Lots of running. Lots of being up all night. Being late, dork. Well, you said it, not me. And you even put up two-handed emojis. I didn't know what you were saying. Yes, I am the very best at it. But yeah, I don't care if you're a little late. I understand. Life happens. I may have to give somebody else a wrench, though. Moderators have to moderate. All right. Ain't life a box of chocolates? Ain't life like a box of chocolates? Well, if you got a good box of chocolates, maybe. I've seen some that life ain't much like. Like that one that all the candies kind of look the same, but one of them has a cherry in it for some inexplicable reason. That's not a very good box. But now, you don't even get white chocolate in the boxes anymore because it's racist. It's all different shades of brown. Joking with you. I know I'm a goober, ha 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 ha. What a great Valentine's night. Me, April, CJ, play our song, Why Don't We Stay Sober? Watch a Disney movie and not screw. What is wrong with you? All of those things is the very reason Valentine's Day exists. Take advantage of it. Might want to stay sober, though. It's much better that way for the other party. April, how's your Valentine's Day been? Says Diego. What a day Kevin had all day at work. Whoop. The best. Well, if he's at work, that means he's bringing home the bacon, which means you get to spend money. That's good. That's the whole thing. Hold it. A Kenny Chesney song just came on at the restaurant. Hold April back. Which Kenny Chesney song? Why don't you like Valentine's Day? It's all about you, and you're supposed to get all the attention, so why would you not like Valentine's Day? It's a long story. Well, we got time. Abridge it. Tell us the short version. One day you dressed up like a man, thought you'd walk a mile in our shoes to prove that it wasn't that hard, and you found out that how expensive Valentine's Day was, and then you decided you didn't like it anymore. Is that the story? I somehow don't think it is. But it's a good one, though. Somebody should make a movie like that. I still give to my kids and spoil the grandkids. And I did some nice, lovely gifts. I got some nice, lovely gifts. Well, look, you're not supposed to give your kids and grandkids gifts on Valentine's Day. It's a day for couples, boyfriend and girlfriend only. I got on to my dad about that one time for giving his mom a Valentine's Day card. I was like, that's not your Valentine. You're just placating nonsense. It's about your wife. Give her the card. Don't worry about your mama. Her husband can do that. If she don't have one anymore, she can miss him like the rest of us. Oh, Jack was buried on that day. I got you. Well, you know, and I've taught you well enough to know that that is irrelevant. Zach ain't there anymore. He's somewhere else. So that day is just another day. The fact that his body was put back to the earth on that day is actually a cause for celebration because the flesh goes back to the dust, which flourishes and feeds and nurtures nature, which causes more life to happen. That's a beautiful thing. That's the way God intended it. His spirit, however, instantly went back to the Father, and there is no better place in the world to be, or outside of the world for that matter, than with the Father. So that's a cause for celebration. So it's actually You should mourn when people come into this world and celebrate when they go out. We don't do that, but it's probably, there's some wisdom there. And it was over a decade ago, so time heals all things, to some degree. But I hope that is comforting to you. Nonetheless, today is your day, baby, and smile because we love you. And at least one of us is going to poke at you in a little while. Every day is a good day to spoil grandkids. That's true. That is true. I don't have any yet, but I fear it's coming soon. One of these days. All right, boys and girls, we've reached the top of the hour, so let's get started, shall we? If you got your Bibles handy, crack them open to that great book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 19, chapter 15, verse 19, and we'll get started and learn something. Yes, when Kevin is at work or at home, I'm spoiling him. Hey, good deal. Good. It's lovely to have somebody to spoil you. Kevin, you should thank God every day for that. That's a wonderful thing to have. You guys ready? Let's get started, shall we? All right. A wise son maketh a glad father. Ain't that the truth? But a foolish man despiseth his mother. Anybody that don't think highly of their mother is a bad dude. You can always tell the value of a man by the way he treats his mom. And some people foolishly call them mama's boys, like it's a bad thing, like it's a derogatory statement. Hey, that guy's a mama's boy. Look, if that guy respects and honors his mother and puts her first, what do you think he's going to do for the love of his life? Even more. So keep that in mind. It's good to be a mama's boy. Folly is joy to him that is destitute of wisdom, but a man of understanding walketh uprightly. That's right. Without counsel, purposes are disappointed. But in the multitude of counselors, they are established. A man hath joy by the answer of his mouth, and a word spoken in due season. How good is it? The way of life is above the wise, that he may depart from hell beneath, or the grave beneath. The Lord will destroy the house of the proud, but he will establish the border of the widow. The thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to the Lord, but the words of the pure are pleasant words. He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house, but he that hateth gifts shall live. This means to love less. This word hate, it's translated to the word hate, but I believe it would be more properly said to love less. There's an example where Jesus used the same word when he said, if you're going to follow me, you must hate your mother and father. That's the way it's translated. But I believe what he is trying to say is that if you're going to follow God, that doesn't mean everybody. That means if you're going to drop everything and be a part of his party and follow him through the world, then you have to put him first and put everything else before him, which means love him more than everything else. There shouldn't be anything above him if you're going to be one of his followers. So I believe what he was saying is you must love your mother and father less than you love Jesus Christ if you're going to be one of my followers. So, and that's the same word that's being used here. So that's kind of how I think that's translated. My opinion, though, take it for what you will. The heart of the righteous studieth to answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things. Quick to respond without any thought or forethought. A wise man will consider a question and go study it and find the right answer. before he opens his mouth. A foolish man will just blabber uncontrollably without thought. The Lord is far from the wicked, but he heareth the prayer of the righteous. Are you righteous or wicked? That'll answer your question as to whether or not God hears your prayers. Sure, he hears them, but he'll hear them even clearer if you're righteous, if you try to walk in his ways, if you follow the commandments and his judgments. The light of the eye rejoiceth the heart, and a good rapport makes the bones fat. That means when you have lots of friends, you are very happy. And when you enter a room, you make eye contact with people and let that light shine, and it'll rejoice in the heart. You ever seen somebody walk in the room and it lifts your spirits just because they're there? Look at their eyes the next time that happens, and you'll notice that they're beaming with that Shekinah glory, that glory of God. It's very easy to do. All you got to do is just open up. Be extroverted, not introverted. The ear that heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise. You must take constructive criticism and use it to improve upon your life, and you will have a nicer life. You will be among the wise if you do that. But if you ignore it when people reprove you or criticize you, then you're not going to learn anything, and that's not good for you or them. He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul, but he that heareth reproof getteth understanding. Yes, because you do the work on your own self. You're open-minded enough to know you need work. And when someone criticizes you or reproves you, you gain understanding. That's what it's about. The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. Humble yourself, be still, and know that I am the Lord, says God. A proud man can't talk to God. You have to humble yourself. Be as a child in his presence. Lower your haughtiness. Lower your head. Prostrate yourself if necessary. And show obeisance to the Father. And that is the beginning of your wisdom, is humility, fear of the Lord. The preparations of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. Many times I've told you that I don't put a lot of effort into the words that I say. I let it come out naturally. Whatever I see or hear, I respond to it instantly. I let the Lord speak through me. That is the Holy Spirit doing the talking, because it is not me. I don't put my own thoughts, or I try hard not to put my own thoughts into teaching. I let the Lord and his wisdom work through me as best as I can. And I think that's the right way to go about it. I could study and rehearse and write scripts and just say what I think, but that wouldn't be the same thing as teaching you the word of God. These are not my words, therefore I can't instruct you on them. I can, however, react to them in a Christian and loving way, and that's the way we do this. All the ways of a man are clear in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the spirit. Remember yesterday we were talking about weighing product and the different ways that people cheat and getting different weights or paying lesser amounts by biting off a little nibble of their silver coin so that they can collect that and gain more silver. Well, God weighs your soul much in the same way, only he doesn't cheat. And what you're heavy of, he will find it out. If it's in your spirit, it will be shown at the time of judgment when he weighs your soul, good and bad, righteous and wicked, and then he will judge you accordingly. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. Everything you do, you should do for God. Everything. That eliminates the middleman. You do it in the name of God, every single thing you do, and that will establish you in this world in a way that you can't do any other way. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Isn't that interesting? Somebody argued with me once when I said that God created evil because they thought that God is so pure he couldn't possibly create evil. Why would he do such a thing? For the weighing, because if you have free will, then you must have a choice between God and whatever else, good and evil. So the Lord made everything for himself, even the wicked for the day of evil. There's the proof. Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished. Doesn't matter if you hang on with all your might. Grab everybody you know and hold on tight. You're still going to be punished for the pride. God don't like pride. By mercy and truth, iniquity is purged. And by the fear of the Lord, men depart from evil. It's the fear of the Lord that keeps you from doing bad things. That's what drives your consciousness. When you hear that little voice saying, I better not do that, it's bad, that's your soul saying, don't make God mad. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Humbleness is next to godliness, Kevin, because that's the only way you can get close to God is to humble yourself. You are correct. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right. Doesn't matter how much you have. If you have no righteousness, you don't have anything. A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps. Correct. If you allow it, God will tell you how to navigate this world. He will even give you the words to say when you're in a situation like this, where I'm instructing you. God has given me the words, because it certainly ain't coming out of my mind. I'm a moron. A bot has appeared. I will speak to him in the way he understands. Pow. Get him, Kev. A divine sentence is in the lips of a king. His mouth transgresseth not in judgment. A just weight and balance are the Lord's. All the weights of the bag are his work. When God weighs your soul, he does it justly and rightly, and the outcome will be righteous, because his ways, his scales are perfect. He knows right and wrong. He knows good and bad. And when he judges you, he'll judge you accordingly. So make sure you do your part and stay on the right side of God. It is an abomination to kings to commit wickedness, for the throne is established by righteousness. God appointed you king. It is more responsibility on a king to be righteous than it is on a regular person, because they have taken up the mantle of leadership, a role that God appointed for man because man desired it. God wanted to be your king, but we wanted somebody we could look at and influence and talk to. And that's what he did. He set up the first king, Saul, and he set it with a set of rules. So when a king is coronated, it is his job to lead his people to God. Some of them don't always do that, though, and they pay the price for it. Righteous lips are the delight of kings, and they love him that speaketh right. The wrath of a king is a messenger of death, but a wise man will pacify it. Hmm. Spell check is rough. I got you. I read it right. In the light of the king's countenance is life, and his favor is as a cloud of the latter rain. What is the latter rain? That's about Revelations. That's the judgment, the coming judgment, the white throne judgment of God happens in the latter rain. There's more to it than that. We'll get to it when we read it. How much better is it to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding rather to be chosen than silver? Yeah, it's a lot better to be chosen by God, because with the choice of God, you get everything, not just a little gold or a little silver. Don't let greed confuse your mind. The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He that keepeth his way preserveth his soul. If you keep God's ways, you will preserve your soul. Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. That's what happened to old Lucifer. He got a little proud of himself. He thought he was going to take charge. He thought he had more than God had. He was very boastful and very big of himself, too big for his own britches. And what happened? He was utterly destroyed and fell. No longer one of God's angels. Better it is to be one of an humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. It's much better to be humble. He that handleth a matter wisely shall find good, and whoso trusteth in the Lord, happy is he. Always trust God. He'll never lead you wrong. Guarantee it. The wise in heart shall be called prudent, and the sweetness of the lips increaseth learning. Understanding is a wellspring of life unto him that hath it, but the instruction of fools is folly. The heart of the wise teacheth his mouth, and addeth learning to his lips. Always be trying to better your understanding. When you're having a conversation with somebody, let the end goal of that conversation is to come away smarter than when you entered into it. Always try to educate one another. Share your knowledge with your group, with your community, because if one is smart, all should be smart. That makes everybody elevated. You see? There is a way that seemeth right unto man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. That is correct. There are things in this world that occur that seem right when you're first getting into it. But the back of it, the end of it, is wicked. It's destruction. A good example of this would be like socialism. I believe I've said this already. Socialism sounds like a great idea, and the first beginnings of it, the very beginning practices of it, actually do good for the people involved. Here's the problem. Socialism always ends in starvation and genocide. It always does. It always corrupts. It always makes the rich richer and the poor poorer, and it always ends up hurting everybody in the long run. That's why it isn't a good thing. But it sounds good when you just talk about it on paper. It seems like it works. On paper, a bumblebee shouldn't be able to fly. So much for on paper. Pleasant words are as a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bone. Always speak pleasantly. You don't have to be harsh. He that laboreth for himself, for his mouth craveth of him. An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is a burning fire. A froward man soweth strife, or a disappointed man, a man with a downturned spirit, a depressed man, a hateful man. sows strife, and a whisperer separateth chief friends. That's whispering in the ear of one guy or the other, causing trouble between the two. A violent man enticeth his neighbor, and leadeth him into the way that is not good, into violence. He shuttereth his eyes to deceive froward, or to devise froward things, or hateful things. Moving his lips, he bringeth evil to pass. He can talk evil right into existence. A hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness. Fuzzy. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. He that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. If you can control yourself, you are better than the mightiest of men, because you have control over your emotions. You don't just lose control and go out and take a city. I mean, there's room for that, but it's not better. The lot is cast into the lap, the gambling, but the whole disposing thereof is of the Lord. You can cast your lots all you like. You can make decisions on whatever, but the end result, the final say, will be God's. Better is a dry morsel and quietness therewith than an house full of sacrifices with strife. If everybody at the table is bickering and fighting, the dinner's not going to be very good. It would be better to have a little piece of meat by yourself in quietness and in comfort. It would be more fulfilling than to be at a full table where everybody's fighting. Excuse me. A wise servant shall have rule over a son that causeth shame, and shall have part of the inheritance among the brethren. Control your kids, folks. Don't let them act up too bad. The finning pot is for silver, and the furnace is for gold. But the Lord trieth the hearts, much like purifying the ore from the ground and turning it into nice iron. It goes through a long process that is quite violent and quite abusive, but the end result is pure iron, strong and sturdy, shiny, sharp. But there's a whole lot of beating and banging and heating up and cooling off and scraping and filing that is involved in making something shiny and pretty. And that's how the Lord tries your heart. He tries you with fire. A wicked doer giveth heed to false lips, and a liar giveth ear to a naughty tongue. Whoso mocketh the poor reproacheth his maker, and he that is glad at calamities shall not be unpunished. When you see a calamity, don't look on with joy and glee. Be saddened. Try to help. Have the proper emotions. Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children are their fathers. Amen to that. Excellent speech becometh not a fool, much less do lying lips a prince. A prince is much less than a man who speaks eloquently. Doesn't matter what position you hold. If you have lying lips, you're not nearly as good as the guy on the corner that's talking wisdom. A gift is as a precious stone in the eyes of him that hath it. Whithersoever it turneth, it prospereth. It prospereth, which means giving is a good thing because it causes prosperity. The appropriate starting position of your life should be to give, to nurture, to help, to lend a hand, to be available, to be ready. That's what causes prosperity. Shutting yourself off and being greedy and being stingy ain't going to do it. You won't get anywhere like that. He that covereth a transgression seeketh love, but he that repeateth a matter separately separateth very friends. If you go around running your mouth about your friend's business, your good friends, very friends means good friends, won't be your friends very long. They will separate from you if you go around running your mouth. Keep your transgressions to yourself. Cover it up. Don't talk about it. Let it work itself out. If you must talk about it, consult an elder of the church or whoever's in charge of your community. Go speak privately with them. Don't air your dirty laundry out in front of God and everybody, because your very close friends won't be there very long if you do. A reproof entereth more into a wise man than 100 stripes into a fool. Yeah, a little criticism goes a long way if you're being wise about it. If you're using that criticism constructively. And you'll learn more from that than the punishment of a fool. You could beat him nearly to death, he won't learn nearly as much. Might even do the same thing again. An evil man seeketh only rebellion. Therefore a cruel messenger shall be sent against him. It's okay to rebel, but know what you're rebelling against. Don't be rebellious for rebelliousness' sake. If somebody is doing you wrong, then you can rebel against that. A leader. If the government, say, is making you wear cloth masks when you know they don't do any good, you can stand up and say, no, I'm not playing this retarded game anymore. Enough is enough. That rebelliousness is okay. But if you just go around causing trouble and refusing to listen to any authority figure just because you're a rebel and you like it that way, that's going to end up working against you in the long run. You will have an evil or a cruel messenger sent in your direction. Let a bear robbed of her whelps meet a man, rather than a fool in his folly. It would be better for you to be attacked by a bear than to be an idiot in folly. Whoso rewardeth evil for good, evil shall not depart from his house. Don't reward evil deeds. The beginning of strife is as when one letteth out water. Therefore, leave off contention before it be meddled with. When you begin strife, it'll start out like opening a faucet, and it'll just pour out. It'll just keep coming. So remove the contention. Stay out of strife. Don't be part of that, because if you meddle in with it, you're going to end up being consumed by it. It's a little complicated to read that one. That's a little poorly worded, but that's what they're saying. Stay out of strife, because strife begats strife. That's a better way to say it. He that justifieth the wicked, and he that condemneth the just, even they both are abominations to the Lord. Don't let bad people get away with it, and don't condemn good people for ideology's sake. Like calling somebody a racist because you disagree with them. That's what that's talking about. Wherefore is there a prince in the hand of a fool to get wisdom, seeing he hath no heart to it? A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. A brother will stand by your side no matter what comes your way. He's born for it. A friend will love you regardless, in good times and in bad times. A fool, he doesn't learn anything. He certainly ain't going to be your friend. That word friend has a meaning. It's valuable. It has weight. A man void of understanding striketh hands, and becometh surety in the presence of his friend, or falsely convinced of something. He loveth transgression that loveth strife, and he that exalteth his gate seeketh destruction. Don't stand out too much. It's not smart to be too smart. He that hath a froward heart findeth no good, or a downturned or depressed or hateful heart findeth no good. He that hath a perverse tongue falleth into mischief. He that begetteth a fool doeth it to his sorrow, and the father of a fool hath no joy. It's not good when you create somebody that's a moron, and you have to realize that. You look at your son and you think, man, that guy is an idiot. Did I not teach him well? You are not happy if you're in that situation. However, a merry heart doeth good like medicine. Being happy is like medicine. It can actually cure what ails you. Positivity, positive thoughts, positive heart. But a broken spirit drieth the bones. If you allow yourself to be broken, then you're just circling the drain at that point. A wicked man taketh a gift out of the bosom to prevent or to pervert the ways of judgment. Wisdom is before him that hath understanding, but the eyes of a fool are in the ends of the earth. They're always looking at something that doesn't matter. They're not focused on what the problem is. Foolish son is a grief to his father, and bitterness to her that bare him. That's true too. Also, to punish the just is not good, nor to strike princes for equity. Not equality, equity, equal outcomes. Everybody has the same thing. Also, I read that. He that hath knowledge spareth his words. He chooses his words wisely. He doesn't just ramble off at the mouth. Every word has meaning. Every word has a purpose. And a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. Hey, American Justice, good to see you. Thanks for popping by, and happy Valentine's Day. I hope you got lots of hearts and smooches, and I hope you're having a great day today. Enjoy your panel. I understand. Thanks for showing some love anyway. Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise, and he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding. If you say nothing, if you keep your mouth shut and your ears and eyes opened, you will be perceived as a person who knows what's going on. You will be perceived as a person of understanding. You may not be, but you'll look that way to everybody else because you're not running off at the mouth. You'll notice that people don't know what they're talking about and don't know what they're doing, usually are the ones saying the most stuff. So keep that in mind. You can learn a lot by not speaking. Through desire, a man, having separated himself, seeketh and intermeddleth with all wisdom. That's a person who has the desire to learn something, separates himself from the rest of people by educating himself and intermeddling with understanding, by exposing himself to knowledge. And you'll find wisdom in that. But a fool hath no delight in understanding, but at his heart may discover itself. Yeah. Hey, 420, what's happening? Happy Valentine's Day. Good to see you, brother. When the wicked cometh, then cometh also contempt. With ignominy reproach. I don't know what that word means. Let's look it up. Always better to err on the side of caution. Public shame or disgrace. Ignominy. Public shame or disgrace. The ignominy of being imprisoned is publicly shameful. That's the example given. So that's what he's saying here. That when the wicked cometh, then cometh contempt and public shame or disgrace from being reproached. In other words, if somebody criticizes you, you feel shame because you're wicked and you have contempt for the person who criticizes you. Whereas a wise man will take that criticism and learn from it and better himself. You see the difference? You see what I'm saying here? That's really old language. It's hard to make that make sense, but that's what he's saying. The word of a man's mouth are as deep waters, and the wellspring of wisdom as a flowing brook. It is not good to accept the person of the wicked, to overthrow the righteousness or the righteous in judgment. It's not good to accept wicked people over righteous people in the first place, and it's certainly not good to overthrow the righteous in judgment. A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calleth for strokes. This is an example, like the people that are protesting. You got some that are in the streets with signs and they're showing civil disobedience, but they're being peaceful and they're trying to make their voice heard. But then you got other people that'll come in and be what you call agent provocateurs, where they'll start breaking things and punching people and causing trouble. You're not going to get the thing you're protesting for by causing trouble. If you call for the strokes or if you go out causing damage, your voice is no longer being heard. You see what I'm saying? The fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calleth for the strokes. When he goes beyond what he's asking for and starts causing trouble, then what he's asking for is no longer relevant. A fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul. The words of a talebearer are as wounds, or a liar, a person that makes up stories. And they go down into the innermost parts of the belly. He also that is slothful in his work is brother to him that is great waster. If you do a half-assed job, you're just as bad as a person who wastes a lot of things. Anything you do, you should do 100%. You should do the best job you could do. Because if you're slothful or lazy in your work ethic, or if you don't show up half the time, or if you break half the things you're trying to build, or whatever it is, if you do a bad, piss-poor job at it, you're no better than a person that's wasteful. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. Because he is our refuge. He is the thing in which we take comfort and peace and rest. He's like a strong tower, a siege tower, like in war. Nothing can penetrate it. The righteous will run into it and be safe. from all things. The rich man's wealth is his strong city, and as a high wall in his own conceit. Well, there's nothing real good about being rich. Matter of fact, most rich people I know are miserable. I do love this read, and I'll rewatch it again because we're out having dinner, but I'm here watching and listening. Well, you must love it a lot to watch it twice. Thank you for that. Wow, then I guess we're all in trouble. Well, we can be. It's a lot easier to get out of trouble than you think it is, though. Being rich itself isn't the problem. Money is not evil. It's the love of money that is the root of all evil. It's the greed and the desire for power that makes wickedness appear and corruption happen. There are only two ways to become rich. You're either born rich or you do something wicked to become rich. There are no other ways. The idea that you can work yourself into wealth, the kind of wealth that I'm talking about, isn't possible. You might work yourself into being wealthy, might work yourself into not having any troubles, but you're not going to be like Joe Rogan rich. You're not going to be like hundreds of millions of dollars in the green, because that kind of money comes from doing wicked things. There's just no way to do that. There's no amount of work you can do that will equal that kind of money if you're righteous. Even if you start your own business, just the act of not stepping on people, if you just choose to not screw anybody over and make sure everybody gets a fair shake, that will cost you dividends that you wouldn't believe. Because at some point, somebody's going to screw over somebody else to get an upper hand in the money department. That's just the way of business. That's how it works. So, I'm living proof of that. The reason I'm not famous is because of loyalty. I had a record contract put in my lap, but they only wanted me. They wanted me to fire everybody else and go on my merry way and become what they wanted me to be. And in my wisdom, if you want to call it that, I said, no, I'll just wait a little while. These guys are my guys. They've been with me for 20 years. They are the reason I sound the way I sound. They are part of the thing that I'm selling. So if you want me, you can call me and we'll all come. I thought that a day or so would go by and the phone would ring and they'd be like, well, we thought about it. And yeah, we'll take y'all on. Never happened. I lost that gig. I lost it because I chose to not screw over my friends. Oddly enough, a week later, two of them quit and went and joined another band. And now that band's no longer together. If it had stayed with me, they'd have been fine. But the grass is always greener on the other side, and always somebody is angling for getting the upper hand. Nobody, relatively speaking, wants to be loyal and honorable. But if you choose to be, it will work in your favor. So no, we're not all in trouble. Only the ones of us that can't learn are in trouble. Before destruction, the heart of man is haughty. That arrogance, that lifted the self-exaltation. And before honor is humility. If you want to be honorable, the first thing you must do is humble yourself. Then you can find honor. He that answereth a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and a shame unto him. People that spit off knowledge before they actually consider the circumstance, they're not spitting out knowledge, they're spitting out nonsense. There's a lot of that going on in the world. People talking before they've considered. People making decisions before they've considered. There's a lot to a circumstance. Kevin, being a lawyer, must do this every day. He must consider evidence and consider his clients and consider the accusations before he makes his statement. He must pick a side. And the only way he can pick a side wisely is to understand the whole thing. Understand what the reason we're here is. Understand what the defense is. Understand what the argument is and all the angles. A wise man will consider before he speaks. The spirit of a man will sustain his infirmity. But a wounded spirit, who can bear it? Nobody, because a wounded spirit is bad. The heart of the prudent getteth knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeketh knowledge. Always be listening for something that can make you better, make you smarter. A man's gift maketh room for him, and bringeth him before great men. If you surround yourself with winners, you will inevitably become a winner, because everybody you're around, all the counsel you are seeking, all of the information you receive, all of the lessons you learn come from men greater than yourself, which makes you equal on footing than them. That makes you a great man. So that is a gift from God, is the ability to surround yourself with better people than yourself. Smarter, stronger, whatever it is you're going for. He that is first in his own cause seemeth just, but his neighbor cometh and searcheth him. The lot causeth contentiousness to cease, and parteth between the mighty. A brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city. Yeah, when you offend your brother, he's hard to get over that. Hard to get him back. Harder than tearing down a strong city. And their contentions are like the bars of a castle. Stubborn, headstrong, hard to get through to them once you've offended them. A man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruit of his mouth, and with the increase of his lips shall he be filled. And death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. You can live and die by spoken words. You have the power to speak life into existence or to speak death into existence. All you have to do is be on the wrong side of a situation, and you can talk yourself right into a lot of trouble. And the fruit of that is destruction. Fruit being the metaphor for the consequences of whatever it is you're doing. Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor of the Lord. If you can manage it, find you a good woman, because that's a gift from God, and you obtain favor from God when you have a wife and you treat her well. The poor useth entreaties, but the rich answereth roughly. The poor will mealy mouth and play the victim card, but the rich, they don't have much concern for the poor, so they will speak harshly to them. A man that hath friends must show himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. Yes, there are. Some friendships are a bond for life, way tighter than brother and sister or brother and brother. Although blood is thicker than water, it's not always thicker than friendship. Better is the poor that walketh in his integrity than he that is perverse in his lips and is a fool. Be better off being poor as long as your integrity is intact. Also, that the soul be without knowledge is not good, and he that hasteth with his feet sinneth. Meaning, if you run quickly into situations, you'll end up doing the wrong thing. The foolishness of man perverseth his way, and his heart fretteth against the Lord. So, keep your foolishness in check. Wealth maketh many friends. Oh, you better believe it. If you got money, you got friends. You better know that's right. If you don't believe me, run out of money and see where all your friends go. But as long as you got money, there'll be plenty of people there being your best buddy. But the poor is separated from his neighbor. Yeah, kind of hard to have clout when you have no money. That's why wisdom is an important thing, because if you have something to offer, it may not be money, but it will be something instead. You still can find value amongst your friends. Let that be a lesson to you all. Always have something to offer. Remember what I said, your first position, your starting point should be giving. Always be available, be open, be giving, be courteous, kind, generous. Always. Because if you have something to offer, then you are of value. If you have nothing to offer, what good are you? Who are you helping out? If you're not helping anybody else, you have no point in even being in the situation in the first place. A false witness shall not be unpunished. He that speaketh lies shall not escape. It is one of the commandments. Thou shalt not bear false witness. You may think you've gotten away with it. Mankind may let you get away with it, and you may live your life happy and full. But then there's judgment. God didn't forget. Do not bear false witness. Tell the truth. For one thing, it's easier to remember. For another thing, it's easier to keep in your head. And for another thing, you won't be punished for telling the truth. The truth shall set you free. Many will entreat the favor of a prince. Many will spend time trying to gain a prince's favor, because a prince has power and can have influence over your life. So you want his favor. Remember what I told you about favor. Favor can change your life. A person that likes you will inevitably do things in your favor because they like you. They want you to succeed. They want you to be happy. And if a prince likes you, then you're sitting on easy street, because the prince has power and influence. And every man is a friend to him that giveth gifts. Remember that. If you're always giving gifts, you've always got friends, because they always love to get gifts. Something for nothing. That's not a good friend, though. That's a friend you can trust about as far as you can throw. All the brethren of the poor do hate him or love him less. How much more do his friends go far from him? He pursueth them with words, yet they are wanting to him. They want him to be a man of gift giving. They want him to provide something for them. That's why they're friends. It's not the kind of friend you need. I would go as far as to say, when you discover you have a friend like that, cut that friend loose. It's not worth having. Always have friends who have something of value to offer. He that getteth wisdom loveth his own soul, and he that keepeth understanding shall find good. This whole Proverbs section that we've read so far is about wisdom and understanding. The whole book may be about that. It just depends on how you look at it. A false witness shall not be unpunished. This is the second time that's been said for emphasis. And he that speaketh lies shall perish. Delight is not seemingly for a fool, much less for a servant to have rule over princes. That's right. Them scales of justice. The discretion of a man deferreth his anger. Use discretion in everything you do. And it is his glory to pass over a transgression. The king's wrath is as the roaring of a lion, but his favor is as dew upon the grass. If you got the favor of a king, you really are sitting on easy street. A foolish son is the calamity of his father, and the contentions of a wife are a continual dropping. This is the same thing that's been said before, that the shame on the person who bears the fool and contentious to the father who reared him. Pretty much the same thing. House and riches are the inheritance of fathers, and a prudent wife is from the Lord. Yes, the Lord absolutely can give you a gift of a wife. Here's the problem. The wife has to be willing, and she may not feel the same way. I went through something similar. God blessed me with the gift of a loving woman who then 3 or 4 years later changed her mind. Now, that was to my degradation, and that hurt me greatly. It's going to hurt her worse, though, because she went against God. God set us up, and what God puts together, no man can tear asunder, but a woman can. And when she does, it causes everybody pain. So, if God sees fit to put you in the presence of someone that you know God is setting you up with to love, then you better be on your P's and Q's and do everything you can to make that work, because it is a gift from God, and those don't come very easily. Slothfulness casteth into a deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. Well, if you don't work, you don't eat. That's simple enough. You got to do something. You got to have some effort. You got to have some skin in the game, or else you're not going to get the reward of the meal. He that keepeth the commandment keepeth his own soul, but he that despiseth his ways shall die. Keep the commandments. It's that simple. There's only 10 of them, and it's not even hard to do. But you need to make sure you're doing it. He that hath pity upon the poor lendeth unto the Lord. Are you giving money to the poor? No, you're giving money to God, because it's your charity for the poor that is causing you to give. And God counts that in his little book. So when you give, God takes notice. Remember that. Madison Lawman, another bot. So he that hath pity upon the poor lendeth unto the Lord, and that which he hath given will he pay him again. See that? God will give back what you give. But you must give first. You give, then you receive. That's the natural order of things. Chasten thy son while there is hope, and let not thy soul spare for his crying. Just because it's hard to discipline your children because you hear them crying and you don't want to make your kids cry. You don't want to hurt your kids, but you must discipline them. That's how they learn. So don't let the crying of the child stop you from doing the chastening while there's still hope, because there will come a time when hope runs out and there'll be a lost cause. If you don't chasten your children while they're young, they don't grow up to be good people. And you can absolutely let a child be corrupted into uselessness. Don't do that. I know it's a hard thing to think about and it's a hard thing to imagine, but that's the way it must be. A man of great wrath shall suffer punishment. If all you think about is vengeance, you're going to be punished, because God said, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. For if thou deliver him, yet thou must do it again. See? Vengeance begats vengeance. Even if you get vengeance, you're not done. Nothing is solved. You're going to have to do it again. Hear counsel and receive instruction, that thou mayest be wise in thy latter end, in your old age. Learn while you're young, so that you can have wisdom in your age, or in your fullness of maturity, or your latter end. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord that shall stand. No matter what you think, always seek counsel from God. Always consult the Bible first before you make a decision. Always back up your ideas with the Bible, and you will always be in good standing with the Father. The desire of a man is his kindness, and a poor man is better than a liar. Take a moment and be kind. Watch it change your life. Don't be a liar, though, but be kind. And it will begin to work, and you will see evidence of it happening. Kindness will fix the multitude of badness in your life. The fear of the Lord tendeth to life, and he that hath it shall abide satisfied. He shall not be visited with evil. You fear God, and God will protect you. A slothful man hideth his hands in his bosoms, and will not so much as bring it to his mouth again. He won't even feed himself, because he's lazy. Laziness begats nothing. You must pick yourself up by your bootstraps and make something of yourself. Get a haircut and get a real job, young man. Work hard. Early bird catches the worm, and all these other cliches. Smite a scorner, and the simple will be aware. And reprove one that hath understanding, and he will understand knowledge. Constructive criticism goes a long way. He that wasteth his father and chasteth away his mother, too many thus. He that wasteth his father and chaseth away his mother is a son that causeth shame and bringeth reproach. Don't waste your father, kids. Learn from his wisdom and keep your mama close. Be a mama's boy. It's worth it. Or girl. Cease, my son, to hear the instruction that causeth to err from the words of knowledge. Don't learn dumb mistakes. If you learn stupid things, you do stupid things. If you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. An ungodly witness scorneth judgment, and the mouth of the wicked devoureth iniquity. Sin begets sin. Judgments are prepared for scorners, and stripes for the backs of fools. Wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. Kevin, a little wine is good for the stomach. It's good for the soul. It's uplifting and healing. A lot of wine makes you a slobbering drunk. That's what he's saying. The fear of the king is as the roaring of a lion. Whoso provoketh him to anger sinneth against his own soul. It's not a salvation issue, but it will definitely cause you problems if you make the king mad. Fear his authority. Fear our king's authority even more so. It is an honor for a man to cease from strife, but every fool will be meddling. They want it. They like trouble. They like drama. They breed in it. They breathe it. They eat it up. Misery loves company. But honor is in stopping a problem. That's honorable. The sluggard or the lazy man will not plow by reason of the cold. He won't get up and work even if he's freezing to death. Therefore shall he beg and harvest and have nothing. Well, if he was out doing his job and he works hard for a living, he'll have his own harvest, won't he? Because he will have planted the field and tended it and kept it living and pruned it and got all the weeds out, and now it's harvest time. Now he's got a bounty. But a sluggard or a lazy man that will not get up in the wintertime and go plow, when it's time for harvest, he won't have nothing. And he'll be out there with his hands out going, please, can I have some welfare? Because I allowed the state to be my daddy instead of leading my own family. Now I'm a single mom with 2 kids and I ain't got nothing. Please give me some welfare. Please give me some Medicaid. That's what they're saying. Get up and tend to your field when it's cold, so when it's warm, you'll have your bounty. Counsel in the heart of man is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. He will seek counsel. He will go looking for somebody smarter than him. That's what a wise man does. Most men will proclaim every one his own goodness, but a faithful man, who can find it? Who can find him? He's working. That's why. He's faithful. He's out there doing what he's supposed to do. He ain't out here talking. The just man walketh in his integrity. His children are blessed after him. Live justly, and you will be blessed. A king that sitteth in the throne of judgment scattereth away all evil with his eyes. Who can say, I have made my heart clean, I am pure from my sin? Well, you can't do that because you don't have the power to do that. Only God can forgive you your sins. Only God can make you clean. Divers weights and divers measures, both of them are alike abominations to the Lord. You want a true and just weight and a true and just measure. Your scales must be accurate. Your weight must be dead on. Don't sell a pound when there's 5 ounces missing. Don't do it. Be precise in your heart, in everyday life, in all that you do. Keep yourself perfect. And that's where we're going to stop for today, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to weigh and measure properly. We will pick up next Sunday on chapter 20. Chapter 20, verse 11. Man, what an intense read tonight. Touching, powerful, strong, wise. I hope you learned something from it. I hope you got something out of it. I hope that these messages are helpful in instructing you into a better way of life, into a better existence, into a better understanding of the world that's around you. Won't you please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon so you get notifications of when I'm going to be online. Smash that like button. It's free. It's right in front of you. It takes no effort at all, and it helps the channel with the algorithms. There's really no reason not to, so just press it for me one time. Would you do that? Share this video with somebody you love. Better yet, share it with somebody you don't love. Bring them into our family. Make them part of the fold. Be part of their solutions, not part of their problems. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you're thinking about. Question me, curse me, bless me, challenge me, confront me, conform with me, drink my Kool-Aid. Drink your own Kool-Aid as long as you're thinking critically. That's what I want, critical thought coming from that brain of yours. And if you love the Word of God and you can see the value in what I'm trying to create here for everybody, and you'd like to help out or be part of something special, something that has value in this world, won't you please consider supporting Untethered Live by taking a moment and going to paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand. Every little bit helps. It's a win-win. It's a blessing for me. It's a blessing for you too, by the way, because God notices these things as I've illustrated in these texts. God watches for the giver. So remember that when considering. Or if you feel like sending tithes, offerings, or love offerings, or if you just like to pat me on the back and say, hey, nice job, Jake, you can get it done at paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand. And I greatly appreciate all the support and patronage, and I greatly appreciate your attentiveness and your willingness to learn the Word of God. That's why we're here, to better our lives. Thank you, and I will take your questions and comments and round out this video. Hey, we got her done. I like to read today. Thank you, Jake. You are most welcome, 420. Y'all don't forget to like and feed Jake, says April. She likes it. She likes that song. I'm going to give it to her.
Feed Jake, now I lay me down to sleep. Pray the Lord my soul to keep.
Yep. It's a message inside of a message. It's my theme song, but it's telling you what's necessary. Kibbles and bits. Yeah.
If I die before I
Hope not. Jake. Yep, you don't want him dying before you wake, that's for sure. Thank you. I like that song. I didn't know they were thinking about me when they wrote it. They didn't know it either. April says, yes, it was, and I'm going to rewatch for sure. I love you all. May God bless, and prayers are with you. Sweet dreams, everyone. Hugs, much love. Pac-Man, Ghost, and Heart. Yeah. Hey, I love you too, and happy Valentine's Day to everybody. I hope you had a great night tonight. I hope you were with somebody you love, or you got somebody you love in mind, and I hope that all the fireworks happen as it should. Make life with your penises, boys. Start a family. Build a life. Build something you can have for the future. It's always a good thing. That's why God put us here, to prosper, to be fruitful and multiply. You so much. Heart you so much. Heart you so much too. Thank you. You are sweet. And thank you to all my supporters and all my friends and all the attentive people out there. All the questions and comments, all of the criticisms and arguments and good and bad. I like it all. What we're doing is a strong thing. It's a power move. We are actively creating a community for learning the Word of God. That's a beautiful thing. More people should be doing that all over the world. And we are here to reach those who need us. So let us be doing that. Let us spread the word, share the videos, tell people about Untethered Live, bring them in. Let them see what we're doing here. It's a good thing. And somebody might actually need it. So that's why we're here. And I am going cross-eyed. I'm so tired. I'm going to bed. It grows on you for sure. Yes, it does. Not only does it grow on you, but it's a necessary thing in life. See, before the internet, we used to gather around a fire together and be a community that way and talk to one another, call each other on the phone and, go out and party together and spend the night with each other. And, now there's the internet, so there's not so much of that going on anymore. We have to change that. The internet should be a good tool, but it is not the end-all, be-all of life. There's a whole world going on out here, and we're missing it. So let's build this community and have a world and have people that we can call on when we need each other. That's why skills are important. Make life, learn skills. That's what you're supposed to do. And I implore all of you to do it, even if you've only got a little time. God doesn't tell you when your time is up. You don't know when your time is up. It may be tomorrow. It may be 10 minutes from now. It may be 2 years from now. Maybe 20 years from now. But a lot can happen in a 24-hour period. So be prepared to offer yourself. Be open. Starting position giver. That's how it works. Be kind and watch it change your life. Your whole life right in front of your very eyes for the better. Because when you give of yourself, you receive of God. That's a fact. It's in the Bible over and over again. In almost every book, they mention it. And it ain't because they're needling at you. It's because they're trying to make you understand. Giving should be your starting position. You give, then you receive. It's not the other way around. God's not a genie, but he does have expectations. And I don't mean just give to me. Give to each other. And don't just give money. Give yourself. That's what's important. Your time, your value. Be available for each other. Be open to the idea of building a community. Have that in the forefront. Put God above all things and have your community right below that. That is God, country, or community, family. That is the hierarchy of life. God, country, family, self. If you're doing it any other way, you're doing it wrong. And with that, I will bid you adieu. Have a great night. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. Happy Valentine's Day, and may God bless you and yours all the days of your life, and have all of your fantasies and dreams come true for you, one right after the other. Amen. Have a great night, guys. I'll see you guys on Wednesday, where we'll finish out that old Sam Harris nonsense and not have to look at that anymore, and then talk about how good it was to watch him fall in flames. Have a great night. Take a moment, won't you, tomorrow? Go out and hold a door for somebody, or smile as you walk into a room or pass by a stranger. Just be kind and watch it open up and change your whole life right before your very eyes. I give you my word, it will. Do it and see it happen. Thanks for watching.